The very first thing you're going to do when you're starting a literacy research search is that you just want to have kind of a big topic that you're interested in. For example, my topic is the thing I'm interested in is how discussion boards or asynchronous discussions can contribute to learning for online students. So that's kind of generally what I'm interested in. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to brainstorm two to four keywords that helps me search. So I'm going to search under the words online learning and asynchronous discussions. Now that's a starting point for me because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually begin my search. So I have my general idea of what I'm doing and I've got a couple keywords. So I'm going to go to the UNE library. It's a good place to start. And I'm going to go to education because that is right down there. Let's see if I got it. That's going to get me where I would, oops, I might have accidentally been. I find that the best search engine in education, and let me see if I can get to the right one right now, is reserach. I like that one a lot. Another one that I kind of like is Google Scholar. I find that one really actually very helpful. But let's go to reserach. Now, if you're off campus, you probably are going to have to put, which all of you are going to have to enter your your ID number in order to access our search engine. So here I'm going to put my two online learning. Now look at that. It says online discussions. Sometimes it'll pop up. You know what? I like that. Online discussions. And I may want to put my other topic in there, but let's just see. I'm going to go. Now I want to narrow this a little bit. I want to get things, you know what, that are peer reviewed. So I'm going to check peer reviewed. So that little box that says peer reviewed. And you know, it's not going to do me a whole lot of good if I don't get full text articles, only because I can't read them. So that might be helpful to you as well. And if you want to do your education level, if you're just looking for things that are peer reviewed under early education, you can put it there. If you're interested in certain months, you can put it there. If you want only journal articles, and for this, since this is an initial search, I'm just going to see what it gets me. So I'm going to press search. I think I pressed search. And it's going to take a minute. And it gives me 198 results. Now, I can start and just kind of look through each one of those 198 results. Or I might actually want to narrow my search a little bit right here. For example, I really only want academic journals. Do you see where it says source type? If I click on that, academic journals, it's going to just narrow my search a little bit. And let's see, refine my search. So, so it says source type. Well, that didn't help me a lot. I still have 198. Another thing that I like is if you look where it says subjects, it gives you all the different topics. So let's say, for example, online, I'm going to look at this one. Oh, look at that one. An investigation of factors affecting student participation in an online discussion forum. And some of the things that some of the subjects were online courses, interaction, content analysis. So that might help you narrow even farther. So I want to take a look at this one. So I'm going to click on it. And when I click on it, there are those descriptors. That's a really good place to put, to get some further descriptors for your article search. So for example, student participation, I might actually want to go back and add student participation to my list of article searchers or keywords, because that might help me a little bit more. It gives me an abstract. And you know what, I'm not sure if I want to keep this one or not. Oops, here we go. So remember I said I might want to add this to description. So asynchronous discussion, online learning. Actually, what was the one I just saw was something like online discussions online. So I might want to add to those keywords right there. So any of these articles that I think might be interesting, I'm just going to add them to my folder. If you can see here on the right hand side, it says one of your tools is add to your folder. I think that's a really good way. Say, you know what, I'm going to look at this. Usually what I do is I kind of bookmark a bunch of them. I add them to my folder and say, all right, that might be interesting. I'll keep that one and I'll look at it later. So what you're going to want to do is add a couple of these to your folder. Okay, now I've benched or bookmarked a couple of these and they are in my folder. So I've gone into my folder. I've actually have 6 of them in my folder. And now I'm going to take a look at them and decide which ones that I want. And again, I've kind of narrowed this down. The ones that have nothing to do with what I think I'm looking for. And for example, how about this one right, oh, well, before I show you this, you will see here, this one looked interesting, Essential Elements in Designing Online Discussions, a Practical Experience. But it says check here for full text. This one here has a full text right there. So I'm going to start with that one. And I click on full text. And I should be getting the full text. This is another really good place. I'm going to kind of preview this. All right, so you have a couple of articles, and now you need to really come up with a question that's going to drive your search even more detailed. You know, I've been fishing around a little bit. I've got a couple of articles on online discussions, but if I think about my initial question or my initial topic, it was pretty broad. So what I really need to do here is find a way to narrow this down. For example, my topic was way too big. How do I take a little slice? My topic was just about online discussion groups. And what do I really want to know about online discussion groups, online learning? So I really have to focus because as I look at my articles, these articles are kind of all over the place. I said, how do asynchronous discussions contribute to learning for online students? But that's a really, really big topic. So what I want to do is I want to come up with a guiding question. The way I come up with a guiding question is I look at a couple of the articles and I think, what slice of this can I zoom in on? So that is what I have done next. At this point, when I'm really trying to narrow down my topic, I'm just going to kind of skim through a couple of articles to see if any of these articles can really help me zero in on something. The first article I picked was the quality of online discussion reported by graduate students. And as I look at what this is about, this kind of piques my interest because this one actually took the graduate students' perspective and it did some surveying there and wanted to know how the quality of discussion helped them understand the material. So that's pretty interesting, and I might want to kind of come back to that. Another one that kind of piqued my interest was about encouraging critical thinking in an online threaded discussion. And this talks about how online discussions were related to higher levels of critical thinking. But it was the ways discussions are used and facilitated that's vital for encouraging critical thinking. So that's starting to make me think about how a discussion group or how a discussion format is organized. So now all of a sudden I'm thinking a little bit more about what graduate students think helps them with critical thinking, and thinking a little bit more about how a group is organized. So I'm starting to really narrow that down, and that's helping me kind of think of a more specific topic. So now that I've previewed or skimmed a couple of these articles, I really have narrowed down my question to be a little bit more specific. And this question is really going to help me not only as I move ahead to look at relevant research articles, but also as I'm reading these research articles, I'm really looking to answer this question, which is how can online discussions be structured to contribute to critical thinking as reported by graduate students? And I might want to work on the wording a little bit about maybe how can an instructor structure online discussions might be more grammatically correct. But this is now what I'm really looking at. So did you see how I went from kind of a big topic to a guiding question? The guiding question is important for two reasons. One, to continue to find research that's relevant, and two, to provide a frame for, as you're reading the research, to really zero in on your topic. So I have my topic, and now I might want to go back and do a further search to get even better articles, because now my topic is a little bit different from what I started at. It's much more focused and narrowed. So I might want to go back and redo some keywords. And also another really good place to find sources that are going to be directly related are once you find an article that's kind of in the ballpark of what you want, go to their references. And you can see, I probably am going to pull upon this reference. I saw it in here, maybe by Du Zhang, Olnazak, and Adams about graduate students' perspectives on the meaningful nature of online discussions. That might get me somewhere. So use those references. They are a really good place to find, because the people who are referenced in the article you're interested in are automatically going to be connected in some way. So that's a great kind of helpful hint.